Hello, my friend. Have you ever felt like something is just off in your life, but you couldn't figure out what it was? Maybe you find yourself stuck in frequent loops of procrastination, but no amount of planning or time management techniques or motivational speaking can get you out of it. Maybe you're one who's always saying yes when you really want to say no. Perhaps you're one who relentlessly criticizes yourself for all the things but can't seem to break the habit. Or maybe it's none of those things. Maybe you're more like me and you know you've been through some hard stuff, but are struggling to bounce back as quickly as you thought you might, or maybe as quickly as you thought you should. If any of this sounds like you, you're definitely not alone. While some people out there might say that this stuff is just normal life, or that we all just need to buck up and deal with it, that's not always the answer. And nor is it even possible in some cases, especially if there is unhealed trauma in the mix that is contributing to those issues. You see, trauma isn't just the big, bad, awful stuff that happens to people, or maybe that happened to them a long time ago. The truth is that trauma doesn't always look like trauma, at least not how people generally think of it anyway. Quite often, the things that carry the biggest scars and the most impact and can leave the deepest wounds are the things that happen very subtly and quietly and may have been just delivered on a silver platter with a smile. Those are the worst. Regardless of the details, the impact of trauma, especially when it's repeated trauma, is the same. And it may be affecting you more than you realize. You see, trauma infiltrates our mind, our body, and our soul in ways that are often unseen. And as a result, they can go unrecognized for many, many years. And tragically, sometimes they never are. I get it. Trauma is not fun. It's not a pleasant thing to face, and nor is it an easy thing to accept or to admit to, especially if what caused that trauma has been happening for a very long time or just seems like ordinary, normal, dysfunctional life. I have been there and done that myself. I have tried to justify it in all kinds of ways, and I tried for a very long time to call it all kinds of different things and to make it fit in any other box, except for the one where it really belongs. Admittedly, it can be a tough pill to swallow if you're the only one who sees it, and you're the only one who gets the brunt of all the special stuff, while the people who hurt you are very nice, very successful, and very engaging with other people, sometimes even with you. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter how many marigolds we plant on a pile of poop or how pretty we try to make it. Underneath all of it, it's still a pile of poop and it still stinks. Here's the thing about trauma. It isn't the event itself that causes the problem. It's what happens inside of us as a result of those things. And it doesn't just affect one part of us or one part of our life. Left unchecked, it can take over all of it. But the good news is it doesn't have to be a life sentence. Even though trauma does make a big mess of things, there is a way out and it can heal. One of my favorite things in the world to do is to show others how to make it happen. In order to do that, I am soon going to be teaching a live 4-week course that does just that. I will be telling you more about it in just a bit, but if you can't wait to hear more, there's a link to all the juicy details down in the video description. The long and the short of it, though, is that whether we know that the trauma is there or not, or whether we want to admit that we've experienced trauma or not, the impact is still there and it is still very real. If there are things you can't seem to get past, no matter how hard you try, or habits that you can't break, or thoughts that you just can't keep from spinning, it might be trauma that's waiting to heal that is the culprit of all of it. Because whether we like it or not, trauma shapes our thoughts, our belief, our behaviors, our relationships, and all of our reactions. It can leave us feeling exhausted, confused, stuck, anxious, or out of control. It can also leave us repeating the same unhealthy patterns and relationships over and over again without ever understanding why. Did you know that trauma can even show up as physical and emotional symptoms that have no obvious cause? It might look like chronic headaches or gut and digestive issues or exhaustion that sleep can't fix, or it might even look like a short fuse and a low tolerance for stress. These things aren't just random and they aren't just part of who you are. They're not character flaws, and nor are they even the result of poor choices, at least not on your part anyway. They can be, and almost always are, manifestations of trauma injuries. However, because they are injuries, just like a broken arm or anything else, they can heal and our life can be better than we imagined. I've worked with a lot of people over the years, and I've also been through my own healing experience. One of the biggest obstacles I have consistently seen is that people just don't even know where to start. It's overwhelming, it's big, it's heavy, and there's so many pieces to it. What do I do? Of equal importance is that people have been there, they've done that, they've tried all the things, and they've been to all the traditional routes without success, and they're now ready to give up and resign themselves to an invisible prison. That one especially breaks my heart because I've been there myself. Here's what I've learned though. If you've been trying and it hasn't been working, it doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. It doesn't mean you're a bad person or a failure. More often than not, it's the result of some very major flaws in the mental health system, including that many of our therapists are not trauma informed. It can also be missteps in the healing process, and perhaps most commonly, missing information. Yet once we address those things and fill in those holes, those same people who were once ready to give up can make major leaps forward. The course that I'm going to be teaching live this summer is called Untangling Trauma. What you don't know could heal you, because it's really true. It's a fairly quick, simple, and easy course, but it's also packed full of a lot of information. It's designed to help address all the things I just talked about and to help you know exactly what you need to do to get started and what steps you need to take all along the way and the order that you need to take them in. We'll be talking in depth about what trauma is, how and why it happens, and some of the more sneaky ways that it can show up. We'll also be talking about the profound impact it can have on every facet of our lives. The best part, though, is we're going to talk about what to do about all of it. By the end of the course, you'll be able to see exactly where you are in the healing process, identify any missing holes that need to be filled in, and we'll celebrate how far you've come. Even if you're just at the beginning journey and this is your first step, believe me, we'll celebrate that. You'll also leave knowing what your next right steps are to help you move forward in your life and move from beaten down to shining bright. If you're not quite ready to take that big leap and join the course yet, or even if you are, I also have a free trauma recovery roadmap that's available and lays out and explains the whole process as well. Links to that document are also in the description. I encourage you to grab your copy and to go through it, and then to also come and join me for the live course where we will be taking a much deeper dive into all of it. If you're like me and prefer live courses over pre-recorded self-study ones, this is the time to jump into this one, because I will only be teaching this particular course live during the 2 different runs this summer. After that, it'll still be available, but it will be self-study. The first block of the course runs June 26th to July 17th. The second block runs July 31st to August 21st. And we will meet via Zoom on Wednesdays at 4:30 Mountain Time for a 1-hour class. During that time, we'll be doing lots of teaching, lots of Q&A, and being able to get to know others who are on the same journey with you. Once again, there is much more information and registration links in the video description below. I hope to see you there, and I look forward to being able to support you on your journey. That's all for now. Bye.